Looks like they finally are being unmasked. We got a follow-up for Decoy Voice. Let's check it out.
Funny how these Antifa types feign like they'd actually fight the military, but when faced with the slightest amount of consequence, they tremble like a small lapdog.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of these people that role play as rebellions, they've just been watching Andor. If you don't know, it's a Star Wars show. They've been watching that, and it's really, really fucking good. It's really good. And I think they might have just got too inspired. You know, they really want to role play. They really want to cosplay because these motherfuckers really ain't. I don't want to say like they ain't about that life because obviously there's been a lot of shootings in this fucking country. I'm not going to point any fucking fingers because obviously there's a lot of different populations that have done those shootings and it's all fucking despicable. But it's really fucking irritating when you have people that are role playing out here trying to make a difference. But in reality, all they're doing is pissing people off and making their day harder.
As again, in Portland, Oregon, these activists...
Look at that. Every flag, and then, of course, the U.S. flag that they do have there is upside down. And maybe it's probably going to burn here in a second. Who knows?
Protest American borders while waving foreign flags of countries that definitely enforce their own borders. Then these idiots think red paint would change anything.
Bro, that looked like... You know that's Kool-Aid. Come on now. Actually, it can't be Kool-Aid. She wouldn't pour out the Kool-Aid unless maybe it's not. Maybe there's no sugar in there. You know what I mean? Well, maybe. Okay. Oh, it's supposed to represent blood. I get it. Okay.
As this.
Wait. What the fuck is this? She have a pogo stick?
As.
I'm gonna chill out. I'm gonna chill the fuck out. Sorry.
This specific guy placed the paint all over his hands.
I didn't expect that. Sorry.
They're acting tough towards the police.
Okay. We got ourselves a tough guy. Don't touch us.
Except in the very next night, he was fine.
Don't touch us while you're running up to him with a fucking camera. Like, what the hell? What did you get arrested for? The fucking guy with the bag of hat. Bro, he warned you. You fucked around and you found out. That's crazy.
With
Bro is having the best time of his life.
He's not so tough now.
Bro, he's tweaking. Where'd all that energy go? Bro's sitting down, fucking scared like a fucking possum. That is crazy, man. This is the rebellion. Imagine if we had this rebellion, if we were at war right now and they got drafted. Imagine like their sergeant or lieutenant or whoever is in charge of them. These are like the people you're going to war with and you have to train and to oh my God. Oh, he's got gauges? Oh no, he's got the gauges.
As these cosplay revolutionaries can only be bold when they're well protected from actual consequence.
Yeah.
Where of course Portland, Oregon will tolerate their unemployed antics when they're acting on behalf of the Democrats as almost their unofficial brown shirts. Where when they have numbers, they'll confront journalists like Nick Sorter.
Notice he saw the camera, so someone's recording me. Oh, I gotta go crazy now. I gotta talk like I'm the shit. No. What the fuck are you wearing?
Act tough when they're shouting at Savannah Hernandez.
Camera out of my face.
Relax.
I don't care. Get your don't touch her.
There should be a rule where you're not allowed to protest with a mask on. Because I think it's just dangerous. Like, would you let someone that was wearing this get up into a bank? Right? You know what I mean? Like, there's medical masks and there's medical reasons to wear masks. But, like, what are we doing here? Y'all really want to roleplay that bad that you're, like, the rebellion? Like, please stop LARPing. Like, go back to the parks. These people are so crazy, they got kicked out of the LARPing groups at the parks. Those people are more sane than these fuckers. It's just, they probably, if you have a fucking 1v1 between the Antifa versus the LARPers at your local park, and they just have axes and swords and they have whatever they fucking use, the LARPers are probably gonna fucking win.
Shut the f up! Sure, Violet.
These are probably the people that was reading them the books that Shoe on Head was talking about.
And even after
Jesus.
actually attacking Katie Davis for
Pepe.
continuing to taunt her.
The Dutch oven.
Some balls to stop being a f***ing snowflake.
As this is likely because they actually have police protection.
The Portland mayor and city council
Wait, what?
largely block police from responding to any violence at ISIS building. Take a listen.
There have been folks that have been assaulted right down here on the street, even across the street, and
So we said, all right, we're not going to defund the police. We're just going to segregate what police we fucking fund. Like, what the fuck, bro? This is crazy. Like, I just, it's wild to me seeing so many people like offended and disturbed by how the immigration is being handled right now. And I understand, like, you know, families getting broken apart and like kids getting and all that kind of shit. Yeah, it's fucked. It sucks. And you know who I'm angry at? I'm angry at the person that opened up the gates and said, whoever wants to come in can come in, eat, knowing that's illegal and that the possibility that there's going to have to be mass deportations after that. I would be mad I'm furious at the administration. Whoever the fuck, I can't even say it was Biden. I can't even say it was Kamala because I don't even fucking know who's in charge. You know what I mean? And motherfuckers want to, oh my God.
it takes Portland police a while
Jesus.
to respond, or sometimes they don't respond.
We did see multiple verbal scuffles almost get to the point of physical confrontations, all while the Portland police liaisons were standing.
Honestly, I think a lot of it's for show, and there's gonna be people that get worked up in the moment because they're trying to put on a show. It is what it is, but there is a real possibility where you have a fucking uprising of fucking crazy motherfuckers, and what happens is you have to bring in some kind of force with, you know, whether it be military or the police or whatever, and you just gotta check them, bro, because they won't fuck with people with weapons. They won't. They just won't. They're not about that life. They're not fucking retarded. They're not gonna throw away their lives, and if they do, that's fucked. And it shouldn't get to that point. And I think if you neglect the situation and you allow shit like this to fucking happen and happen over and over and over and again, you create a culture, a subculture, whatever it is, inside your community that is dedicated to this shit, you eventually could have a moment where it pops. It's just, you know, the perfect moment or the worst, whatever it might be. And I don't want that. You know, I'm seeing fucking, you know, Parliament getting burned overseas and all this crazy uprising and, you know, a lot of political tension within a lot of different countries with civil disputes and all that kind of shit. We don't need that here. We really fucking don't. And it's just sad to see this shit constantly fucking happen and not just get taken care of.
Just across the street watching everything, but deciding not to intervene, and that in part is why
Terrible
President
decision.
Trump has said he is sending the National Guard here to Portland. He says the
shocker.
locals aren't doing their job.
Nope.
So of course their sense of power and ability is artificially inflated, as
Yeah.
the Portland police is practically
You know what's crazy
the
to me
official-
too? Like when I learned about states' rights and you know, government and federal and all that kind of stuff as a kid, you know, the states were like implementing rules and they wanted to control their states in their certain ways, and a lot of it was financial things as well. And they differed on the way things had to be done. These fucking states aren't doing anything, bro. They're not doing shit. They're just fucking like, oh well, we're gonna let fucking crazy Bobby just, you know, roll down there and just do his thing. Oh, if he shoots up the ice building, ooh, whoops, we didn't fucking know. But we're not gonna deal with it. Hey, they're just protesting. It's just like people that are fucking exaggerating protesting and turning it like, yes, a lot of people peaceful protest, but if there's a fucking physical interaction, if there's a riot, if there's buildings burning or being broken into, I'm sorry, that's a fucking issue. You can't just clarify the whole thing as peaceful and look over that little incident. You know what I mean? Like it's not me super analyzing one thing that happens. It's like we learned in fucking school about MLK. peaceful protesting is not just a singular thing. It is a universal movement that you're supposed to be. It's just these fuckers don't know. They don't want anything done, honestly. They just want attention on it. It's just
Christ
fucking
version
annoying.
of law enforcement. But now that they're dealing with federal agents and federal charges, their bark suddenly doesn't have a bite, but a tiny
shocker.
shriveling whimper. And the same goes for equally liberal Chicago, as Operation Midway Blitz made over 900 arrests in Illinois, so the usual suspects
900 honestly sounds like low ball to me. You know what I mean? Like, if you're having to bring in reinforcements, like 900 people is a lot, but still, hopefully, I really do hope that they can fix Chicago. And I mean that in the most endear way. Like, I hope that people don't have to like have weapons on them 24/7 because they're scared that if they don't have the fucking stick on them that they might get caught slacking and they might lose their life. You know what I mean? I do hope that shit can get eradicated. Like, I really fucking hope that kids don't have to deal with that shit anymore, because it's fucked. Like, you have a fucking war zone in our country, and it's just been oh well, it's okay, it's fine.
in Illinois.
I'll keep
so
them over
the
there.
usual suspects take to
So
TikTok
fucked.
to suggest a civil war.
You guys aware that ICE literally raided an entire apartment complex yesterday in Chicago? They like banged on the doors, they like ransacked people's apartments, and they got everybody out onto the street, all zip tied, and anybody who had a warrant out for anything was detained, whether it was immigration related or not. Only those who did not have warrants and only those who were not immigrants.
So pretty much anybody that wasn't illegal, here illegally, or has done anything illegal, or hasn't addressed any fines that turn into warrants, which is a legal matter and legally able to arrest those person on site. Yeah, so if you're not one of those people, you got to go away, which is technically is how it is every fucking where. Wow.
To go back into their house.
Shocker.
They fully sieged an apartment complex. They sieged an apartment complex full of American citizens with full military gear and disappeared people from this apartment complex.
Disappeared. So if you don't know, people use disappeared sometimes. I don't think he's doing this for this reason, but you might be confused, or it just comes to mind right now for me. People use this word for like killing or death or whatever it might be, because like YouTube or other algorithms might hear that word and be like, this video's bad, let's not push it out to people. There's certain words on YouTube you just can't say. I don't know all of them. And this, hit the like button if you're enjoying this video at this point, please, because me saying some shit like this will actually hurt the video. But we keep it raw over here. I really don't give a fuck. There's certain words I just can't say. And people don't say in general because of social media and stuff like that, but people always fucking say that shit behind the scenes. Like, it is what it is, bro.
What other parallels do you need? What do I even need to say what I'm paralleling to?
So you're telling me that they just went in a fucking apartment building and just started killing people left and right? Okay. So this wasn't on New York. Like, what are we talking about?
They really think Chicago can stand up to the feds.
Hey, ICE, come to the south side of Chicago. I promise you, we're going to keep our hands off of you. We're going to let you just throw people to the ground. Actually,
I think we could have a situation like Waco. I really do. I think you could, if you want to like think about this whole situation, there are places in Chicago where everybody's got to have a gap. It's honestly reminiscent of Texas, because people are very into gun culture here in Texas. Like, you don't fuck around in Texas. You don't fuck around with like acting like a fucking idiot in traffic or anything like that, like out and about, because people are always strapped. Like, you got to be in check. You got to be a fucking reasonable person. You got to lock in and just get from A to B and not cause fucking issues. And I think it's the same situation in Chicago for sure. Southside, I don't know exactly where, but you got O Block and all that shit. I don't know much about Chicago. I'm ignorant on the subject. I really am. I like rap music, and I know some stories and stuff like that with Vaughn and all that kind of shit. I'm not a fucking historian by any means, but still, I understand that there's places that are fucking, they got that shit on them, right? And I could see a situation where they're trying to do this cleanup, and if any place in America, I mean, that would be probably the place where they would fight back, which is fucking crazy. You don't want to do that because it's gonna get really fucking messy. You're obviously not gonna fucking win either. But a lot of people that are innocent could get fucking, you know, like you're talking about apartment buildings, homes, you know, you got neighbors. When you're talking about apartment buildings, you got fucking, you're talking about a gunshot that's going to go through walls, multiple fucking walls. And you have multiple people next to each other, stacked to each other, you know, these bird cages type shit. So it's, yeah, this is worst case scenario.
And tackle them. Yeah, we're not going to jump in and jump on you.
As the utter lack of law enforcement has completely deluded them.
What if groups of concerned citizens found out ICE agents' identities?
This is what they've been wanting to do this whole time. This is why they want the mask removed, which is fucking sickening to me, because they're just trying to do their job, and these people are here illegally. I have no issues with anybody that's illegal. Like if I met them in person, I'm not gonna like go snitch on them or anything like that. It's just the premise to me is it is you are illegally here. I get there's people that are trying to get asylum from terrible situations and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, the law is that you can't come into our country illegally, right? You're gonna get deported. It's just how things have been ran for a very, very, very fucking long time. So, yeah, it's gross to me that people are doing all these calls to violence on social media. This is pretty much one of them. You know, they did this with Trump. They've done this with Charlie Kirk. They do this with ICE agents. And the disturbing part to me is with like Charlie Kirk's situation, with a lot of people that were trying to justify or push back against any like sadness or whatever it might be, people grieving. Because like, oh, you don't talk about politics, you never post about politics or anything like that. But at the end of the day, we all saw a human life get taken. His family saw, like, was there and saw him get taken from them. And it's disturbing because he had a point of view, which might not align with the people that grieved for him, that you decided to justify to. But at the end of the day, he had an opinion and he got killed for it. And, I think we're seeing this a lot more with Luigi, and there's other situations too that are not as infamous, but still, it's concerning. There is a huge populace. There's a huge percentage, a lot bigger than I would ever expected. You know, a couple weeks ago, a year ago, in the past, that is okay with violence towards a certain group of people that have a certain. You know, and it's like, okay, you don't like ICE, you don't like Trump, you don't like Charlie Kirk, right? You don't like these people. What about people that beliefs might parallel theirs? Or maybe they don't even parallel, but maybe what if they agree on one topic? Because, you know, politics is it's a very, very nuanced subject. There's a lot of gray, it's a huge spectrum. And usually when you're talking to someone that has a sound mind, there's different topics that you have a different perspective on. Now, a lot of them align with certain parties, and that's why we have a two-party system. But still, if you don't like these people and you think it's okay for them to be shot and killed, you think violence is okay to be, you know, persecute these people with violence, to, you know, leak their identities. Why? Because you want terrible things to happen to them, to their homes, to their families, and their families are innocent. Maybe their kids don't even get along with the parents, right? Wow. When does that line stop? When is it just, okay, it's just ICE? Or maybe it's this guy too. Or maybe it's this girl too. Or maybe it's my coworker because she likes this type of content. You know what I mean? I don't like living in that world, and I think this is fucking disgusting. If you align with like this type of behavior, I'm sorry, I just get the fuck out of here. Just fuck off, like, for real. It's very, very concerning. It's just gonna snowball and get worse and worse and worse. That's what's happened since COVID. Honestly, the world has been crazy, and social media has been changing people, and it scares the fuck out of me, man.
And then started.
It really does.
Them when they were off the clock.
where no. We've seen
How about
these
that?
protesters prepare to fight. As
Yeah, bro, this shit reminds me of the fucking goth chicks when they're fucking dancing and they got their yo-yos and they're hitting that fucking, I can't even do it, bro. They're better dancers than me. Like, goddamn, but what are we doing over here? This is crazy.
As I am almost certain if any of those individuals actually took a swing at an ICE agent, ended up getting arrested, and then faced several years in federal prison, they'd be acting exactly like that other guy,
Yeah.
completely blindsided by the concept of consequences.
Yeah.
This recently played out in real time, also over in Portland.
Man, Portland's been popping off. They need like a better sports team or something. They need some distractions over there. It's not enough sunshine or something.
How he just assumed he could shove a federal agent is beyond me. But the saddest part about all of this is just the final chapter in the book of fatherless behavior, as they never learn to not destroy your own community when you get emotional about border laws. They never had a strong father figure to tell them, local law enforcement to ever remind them, and not even common sense.
You know what's ironic to me? This is Portland, right? It's northeast of the country. Or sorry, northwest. I'm fucking dyslexic. Northwest, left side, right? Left side. That's not gang related. That's left, bro. I'm not talking about. I'm actually talking about left, right. Not politics, right? I'm stupid sometimes. I'm sorry. I'm tired. But they are so far away from the Mexican border. Yeah, and they're talking all this. It's just, oh man, if they knew and saw the horrors of some of the incidents that have happened on our borders, or, you know, real down south, man, or in Mexico in general, like there's some crazy shit, some disgusting, vile shit that's happened on these borders. And it's, they're so disconnected, you know?
Itself could ever teach them.
That's all I can
This is
say.
not how adults act. But the local liberal politicians just utilize them as useful idiots, already knowing they could do nothing to protect them from federal prison. And the first time they'll realize this reality is when they're already being dragged away in handcuffs.
It's actually a shame, because them not pushing back on this behavior, the state itself, they are pretty much, they're putting these people that are fucking acting crazy in a position for failure, because they're just naturally gonna think that they can do whatever the fuck they want. And so when federal law strikes on them, well, they're fucked. And honestly, the only person they can blame besides themselves is the state government, which is ironic because they're the ones that are allowing this shit. It's just fucked, bro. It's really fucked.
I don't know about you, but this is exactly.
And what's also crazy, they won't even look at it that way. They'll be like, man, fuck the feds type shit. But in reality, you were led astray by your state.
Exactly what I voted for. So if you appreciate my concise, light-hearted commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality, subscribe to Decoy Voice.
Good video, man. Decoy does a lot of good stuff. It does a lot of good videos, especially like niche stories that I don't hear about often. Like, it's really cool to see this, man. Him pushing out content like this, I do love it a lot. So shout out to him. Go give him a sub if you're not subbed. Go give him a like on his video. Go comment on that. Tell him Trizashi sent you. Let's look at the comment section real quick. They arrest people with arrest warrants. Isn't that what law enforcement is? Yeah, if you get pulled over, they ask you if you have any warrants, right? Like, that shit was crazy to me, bro. Like, oh, fuck. I don't understand how people get like that, but it is what it is. 324. So only illegals and criminals were removed from their homes. And the problem is what? I think, like, if you want to play devil's advocate, and this is the nicest, like, this is me being as, like, giving as much as possible to this guy's case, right? You can have a warrant and not even know about it, right? Because you didn't pay a speeding ticket or a parking ticket or whatever it might be, and you had no idea about it, right? In that situation, you know, once you find out about it, you just get it paid, you get it, you know, you deal with it as quick as possible. And sometimes you might get pulled over. You know, I've had some friends who love cars, and you know, I've had a couple of them get pulled over, and they had a warrant, or maybe two, or whatever it might be, for like tickets or something. And I thought it was crazy, but they got away. The cop was like, "Oh, just pay that shit," you know, it's let them off with a warning. So you can get lucky, but at the end of the day, they're cracking down on crime in general, and it's like they're trying to get that total, like that 900 number. They're trying to get it as high as possible, right? Because it's kind of about like sending a message, right? We're not going to tolerate crime in the city. You know, the people in the city that don't do crime, that are innocent and all that kind of shit, they deserve better, right? They deserve to live in a nicer and less crime-filled community. They only let American citizens stay in their house. LOL. There's the damn point. Only those without warrant. Oh my god. Yeah, that is like probably the clip of this video. It's insane to hear someone talk about it, like that whole situation. But yeah, I think it's just ignorance, right? It's really sad to see like people get like really hyperbolic or radicalized over the years, and I think we just had the perfect climate for that to be happening. And I really do hope things calm down, but I don't think they will. I don't think we're necessarily going to get to a civil war, because if you think about majorities like of Americans in general, majority of Americans don't give a fuck about this. Like, they think it's weird that it's happening, but they don't pay attention to politics and stuff like that. And if you try to like start an uprising, it's just, no, it's not gonna happen. But yeah, there's obviously been a lot of just bullshit happening in this country. So this is just another one of those situations. Hopefully it gets dealt with, and hopefully there's some good leadership can pop off in Portland and steer them the right direction. Because I do have hope for, you know, all these different big cities and states that are struggling right now. And I think it's because they've been so obsessed with identity politics. They've been so obsessed with views in general. And when you're obsessed with views in general, like when we're talking about news and stuff like that, you typically are going to be pushing the most obscene thing to get the most clicks and most attention, instead of actually telling the news. You know, you create a bias for yourself. And yeah, so I hope everything can just go back to being perfect, if it ever was. But in reality, we need to know about these things and understand these things so we can prevent them from happening in the future, and prevent bullshit from happening in our own cities, our own homes, our own states. And yeah, hopefully we can create a better fucking country for the next generation, and the next generation, because goddamn, right now there's a lot of my friends where they don't want to have kids, and it's crazy to me because I can't wait to have kids. But it's one of those time periods where you just don't know. You don't know what's around the corner. There's so much happening. So, but yeah, my name is Trizashi. This is Trizashi TV. I don't know why I got so fucking deep right there. Yeah. This was a fucking wild video. Shout out to Decoy Voice. Hit the like button. Help push this video out to more people. Hit the sub button. Let's get to 10K. And yeah, comment down below with your own perspective, with your own little insight, whatever you want to comment down below about. I would love to have the conversation going down there in the comment section below. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces.